Now who born this fine girl? Yeah, yeah. Now who born this fine girl? Yeah, yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl BUCHI, and today I am going to be telling you about my labor and delivery video. So let's just start this a couple of days before my actual labor and delivery day. So about January 11th, January 12th, can't remember the exact date, but I had a dream that I was in labor and it felt so real. It felt like I could feel the pain and everything. But then in my dream, everything was smooth sailing. There was no problem, okay? Then fast forward January 13th, around 6:45 a.m. was when I felt my first contraction. And I was like, I'm probably dreaming because I was sleeping. I'm like, oh, I'm probably dreaming, da-da-da. Ignore the pain. Another one comes out and I was like, okay, ow. But like, it was just like very period cramp feeling at first, okay? Then I got up to go pee, still ignoring that I'm having contractions. I got up to go pee. Then I came back. As I'm walking back to the bed, I felt another one. I was like, okay, definitely happening. Called my sister who's a nurse. I was like, hey sis, like this and this is happening. This is when it started. She's like, okay, start timing it. I was like, all right. I started timing it. I called my boyfriend. I was like, hey babe, it's time, like baby's coming like right now. So he's like, oh, I'll call you back, just let me know what happens. I was like, okay, cool. Hang up the phone, and then I'm there around, I didn't call my mom because my mom had gone to work. If I called my mom, she would have canceled work and came home, and I didn't want that if it wasn't like baby's coming out right now. I didn't want to sound any alarms and just like make everybody had their days all jumbled up because of me. I'm going through this whole thing, being a trooper, doing my thing. I'm like, ooh, it's okay, light work. Fast forward till this is when the pain started to kick in. This is when I started to feel like, oh yeah, like today is the day. Around 5 p.m. That's when my contractions started getting harder. The pain was just there. It was like, that kind of, those grabbing and everything. I'm like, I'm not gonna go to the hospital because I'm trying to avoid taking the epidural. I did not want to take the epidural whatsoever. I wanted to have a natural birth. So I'm there, around 10 o'clock, I made a joke to my friend. I'm gonna go upstairs, I'm gonna go do my makeup, do my hair, so that when my son comes out, he sees, this fine babe that he's about to start calling mom. So I go upstairs, joking around. I was not planning on doing my makeup, by the way. I'm joking around, talking on the phone, making jokes with my friends, going through contractions, grabbing. So she goes, how are you not screaming? I was like, because I'm trying to save my energy. So fast forward, couple minutes after just talking, I just fell to my knees with this one contraction. And that's when everybody in the house was like, yep, you gotta go. You need to get your ass to the hospital right now. I would say this is where things got so annoying for me. When I got to the hospital, obviously COVID and everything, the restriction and whatever, I had to go in by myself while having contractions. I could barely stand. I'm in a wheelchair, by the way. I could barely do anything. I had to check myself into the hospital. Then I had to go in a little waiting area. They put a tracker basically to see the baby's heart rate and my heart rate and all that stuff. And then I had to do a pee sample and all that extra other things that you have to do obviously when you're pregnant. And then, by the way, all of this I'm by myself. Contractions are getting harder and everything. I do all of that about an hour into waiting because I had my partner outside waiting for me in the car while I did all of this. So I'm like, if they're gonna send me home, at least he's there. I don't want to say, okay, go home, and then you would have to come back. So he's waiting outside. I'm in the room by myself. And then next thing, this doctor comes, and he's like, hey, you have to, take off your underwear. And then this was like, girl, how the hell are you in labor and you have a G-string on? That made me laugh. If it's just today, every time I think about it, I just laugh. And then I took off my underwear. She put it into my winter jacket pocket. And then the doctor literally takes his hand and just shoves it right in there. And he goes around and he's like, oh, 5.5 centimeters dilated. And I was like, oh, okay. So they check me in, and thank God then my partner could come in, or whoever is allowed in the room with you can come in. And because of COVID and the hospital I was in, you were only allowed one person throughout your whole stay. That person could go and come back, but they would have to do the screening every time they leave and come back. So so my partner leaves and comes back, and brings all my stuff in the room. I'm in this one room, big room, and that room was where I was going to have my baby. So I'm in there, contractions are killing, you know, everything is annoying. I'm hearing different voices. My mom was on the phone, my sisters were on the phone, his mom, everybody was just on the phone trying to be in the moment with us. But because I was natural, every pain I felt, everything I felt, I could not sleep, I could not sit, I could not stand. There was no comfortable position for me. So we're there. My doctor now that's going to give birth to the baby shows up. And then she's like, oh, I'm gonna have to check you because I'm already scarred from the way that guy shoved his hand in my vagina. I was like, yeah, no, we're gonna have to like slow down on this putting hands up there because it hurts. And she's like, oh, don't worry, I'm gentle, plus my hands are smaller, blah blah blah. I was like, all right, cool. She puts her hand in, she does the whole moving around. She was really gentle. So I was like, oh, well, that wasn't bad. Then my nurse came. At first I had a nurse named Anita, which is my name as well. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. So we chit chat, we laugh with that. Then I had another nurse come in, I forgot her name, so that's from F. And then she was pretty okay as well. Then my actual nurse that stayed with me throughout the birth and everything was there, and her name was Sandra. And it was so cool because my big sister's name was Sandra, and my sister's super caring, and this lady was just caring and everything. I just felt like my sister was there, you know, with me because of the way she treated me and acted and all of that stuff. So here is where things started to get tough, okay? For lack of a better word, tough. Right, the contractions started getting worse and worse and worse. I was feeling it in my back. I couldn't sleep. I'm like in pain. And I literally was like not hearing anybody on the floor. The nurses were quiet. The other rooms were quiet, you know. And I was like to the doctor, I was like, am I the only one that's having a baby today? And she's like, no, there are 3 other women that are having babies, but they're sleeping because they're on epidural. I was like, oh, okay. So fast forward, doctor comes back again, shoves hand in there, and she goes, oh, you're 8 centimeters dilated. I was like, okay, cool. Fast forward, she comes back again, she shoves it, 9 centimeters dilated, and she goes, you know what? Your baby is in the right position, head down, but he's looking up. So I'm like, boy, if you don't fix up, it's like he was coming out, then he looked up and go, oh shoot, I forgot that thing up there. I'm like, and he just kept staring at the thing. So I was just like, boy, please, I'm begging you. They're like, we're gonna wait. You're 9.5 centimeters dilated. He's going to move his head, stay in this position. I'm in this position, it's killing me. It's killing. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't hear shit. I'm like getting so irritated, yelling, you know, getting upset at people, like just not in the mood for nothing, you know. Then the nurse came in, she was like, oh, we don't want your labor to hang. I don't know what that is till today, but she goes, we don't want your labor to hang, so we're gonna have to put you on oxytocin. And I was like, what is that? And is it going to make these contractions worse? Because all I was thinking was, I need this pain to go away because I'm still doing this natural. So she was like, oh, it's not going to do anything, it's just gonna slightly increase it, and that's it. I was like, you know what, slightly, that's fine. I can handle slightly. So I got the oxytocin in. About 30 minutes on oxytocin, I started screaming. The pain was too much. Like, I literally felt like I was getting paralyzed from the waist down. That's how bad it was. I was screaming, and keep in mind, the whole time I've been hush. No noise, no nothing, been hush. I'm just there and I'm crying. I'm telling my boyfriend, like, babe, I can't do this anymore. I'm done. Like, I want to go home. I want to go meet my mom. I'm tired. And then he's like, babe, it's okay. And then I just could not take it anymore. Then the doctor came, checked again. I'm still 9.5 centimeters dilated. She goes, if nothing changes in the next hour, we're gonna start pushing. I said, okay. So she comes about 5 minutes after and puts her hand in, and I feel her do this, right? So I get up from the bed, bruh, I started pissing myself. She broke my water. Started pissing myself. I'm like, it's on and popping. Once my water was broken, that's when like the pain just rushed right to my back. So she shoves her hand up there, tries to assist me, you know, assist my baby's head, like turn his head so I can push. So as her hand's up there, I'm pushing as hard as I can. She said to push on every contraction, but wait, let's go back a bit. I ended up caving in and taking the epidural when I was 9.5 centimeters dilated, which you guys already know, it's already kind of too late to take an epidural when you're 9.5 centimeters dilated, because it takes a while for it to kick in or whatever. So it did kick in a little bit, but I could still feel pain. I can still feel everything. So her hand is up my vagina, okay? And she is, I feel it like twisting, trying to grab my son's head to like turn it. As I'm pushing, I popped a vein. I can feel the blood rushing from that vein. I just feel them dabbing it, you know. And then the doctor comes to me, she goes, Mom, you popped a vein and I'm going to have to stitch it. I said, you're gonna have to do what? She goes, you popped a vein and I'm going to have to stitch it because you're losing a lot of blood. I said, okay, do what you want. So I feel her literally stitching. I have to push on every contraction, everything. I'm stressed, the baby's stressed, you know. So she goes, oh, baby's heart rate's dropping. Mom's not really doing well. Let's go. We have to go for emergency C-section. I said, okay. No, we're not doing that. So my mom's on the phone. She doesn't want me to do C-section. I didn't want to do C-section. My partner doesn't want me to do C-section. We're all like against it. Not against it as bad. It's just I wanted to push my baby out naturally. So she was like, we have to because your baby's heart rate's dropped. Once I heard that the second time, I was like, let me sign whatever I need to sign. I'm signing. And then next thing you know, they wheeled me into a room. Everything's, don't remember much after that at all. But they moved me in there, and then I feel something cold go down my spine, and then I feel like tugging, you know, in my stomach area. Next thing I hear, 407, we have baby, 407, we have baby. I literally, like, I was so gone. Like, so my hands are like this. The most uncomfortable thing, my hands are like this, like I was getting crucified. Hands like this. And I'm looking. Then I look to the side. The nurse passed by with my child. First of all, I don't hear a cry. I started freaking out. Second of all, I see that my son's head was long. Like, long. If you guys seen the movie, Proud Family, the movie with the peanut heads, that's how long my child's head looked like. And the first thing I said was, what's wrong with his head? That's literally what's wrong with his head. Then the second thing that came out of my mouth, does he have hair? So I'm there laying down like, oh my gosh, like what the hell? And I asked, does he have hair? Because when I came out as a baby, I was bald. I had no hair, no brows, no lashes, no nothing. So I was so curious as to how my baby was gonna come out. So no one's responding to me, no one's saying anything. I can't hear my son cry. I look at my partner sitting right beside me. I said, babe, what's going on with my baby? Where's my baby? And then he's like, he's fine, but as I'm talking to him, I'm literally fading in and out because I got an extra shot of epidural, so that made me so drowsy. Like I didn't even know where I was after a while. So I look and I said to him, I was like, where's the baby? So I said, go to where the baby is right now. So as he gets up to go, they send him back. They're like, oh, Dad, you can't be here. And then next thing I know, the room's empty. Everyone's gone. My partner's gone, baby's gone. It's me and like 3 doctors left in the room. So, but before that, I did finally hear my son cry. And next thing I know, everyone was gone. They stitched me up. Didn't remember that. Fell asleep. Then they wheeled me over to recovery. Didn't know anything. I fell asleep. I was done. I was out. Didn't see my baby. I haven't seen my partner since the baby came out. I'm by myself, like worried AF. So next thing, Sandra comes in, was my nurse. She comes in and she's like, your baby's fine, everybody's fine. Once you're feeling okay, we're gonna quickly move you to postpartum, which is where you're gonna be for the next 2 days because your baby has to go to NICU. I said, okay, cool. So I'm there. Then they wheeled me over to postpartum, and that's when I finally saw my partner. And I asked him about the baby, and he was like, the baby was fine. And this guy kept disappearing. Okay, when I say disappearing, he kept like, he was in and out of that room, and I just didn't even know where he was. Just for me to come back, and then he was like, oh my gosh, he's so cute. I was like, oh, so you've seen him? He's like, yeah, that's where I've been this whole time. And I'm like, wow, I'm by myself and you're with the but in his defense, I did say, wherever the baby goes, you have to be there. I don't care what it is. You have to be beside my child wherever he goes. So next day, you know, I'm feeling a little better. I could barely walk because obviously the pain from like the epidural wearing out and like my C-section, I could barely walk. Like I'm literally like moving so slow. I walk over to NICU. The walk literally felt like it was a 30-minute walk from postpartum to NICU. But when I started getting better by the second day and I could move a little faster, it was literally a 5-minute walk from here to here. So I see my baby. I cried. Oh my gosh, I cried. I held him. I kept kissing his head, hugging him, you know, wanting to be with him. Shoving my breast down his mouth, like, you have to start sucking moves. Like, I was so excited. I felt so blessed. I started praying to God, and I asked the nurses, how is he, how is everything? They said everything is perfectly fine. He just has to stay on this what's that thing called? I try to say drip, antibiotics. He has to be on that for 42 hours, so that's 2 days, right? Yeah, he has to be on there for 2 days. And I was like, okay, that's fine, but you can visit him and come and do feedings every hour. I said, okay, that's fine. Is every 3 hours I have to come and do feeding? So I go there. In the hospital, they have diapers ready for you to help learn how to change the diaper. But I already knew how to change a diaper. Doing that, then they give you food like formula because my breast milk wasn't coming. You know, I barely had nothing, not even drops. Okay, but I took my pump and I was pumping at the hospital, pumping, so whatever comes out would come out. And next thing you know, 2 days later, we got discharged from the hospital, and now I have my beautiful, beautiful son with me, and I love him. Thank God there hasn't been any sickness, there hasn't been anything wrong with him. I'm praising God because he is literally the best blessing I've ever received in my entire life. And I'm 100% grateful to God, and you know, grateful to all my friends and family that has been there for me, you know, taking care of me and my son and looking out for us. God bless you all. And yeah, I try to tell the story, you know, in a different tone, just so it doesn't sound so like, oh my gosh, I don't want to have a baby anymore kind of thing. So yeah, if you guys liked my labor and delivery story, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let me know what else you want to see. I do have cool fun videos coming up, and yeah, I'll see you guys.
Woo!